get this. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Good afternoon, good night, may I say. Again, the both of us here, Doc and I, to have a conversation with you in
Mhm.
respect to the forward march of our country. So we're here in the name of the people, okay? Not just us, but in the name of the people, the children, the future. We want to come to you tonight to talk about systems and processes, especially when it comes to the foundation of our country. When does it stop? Okay. And who does it stop with? That's what we're here to talk about. We know that 42, 43, 45 House representatives have been recruiting to go out. Initially, the recruitment was based on money. Okay, we thought money were infused into that. It was not based on ideology or based on the need of the people to say our school not getting money, our children are sitting on the floor. At least my we got more unemployed teachers or volunteer teachers who are teaching our children without pay. Our hospitals do not have medication, and the people are stealing the money. This is not based on ideology or any um as we understand, at least as I understand, that is based on the work of the people or for the people. So we want to talk about, I know a lot of people, and I was just telling that I have gotten call where people say, oh, that man is this, is that. We get it. We are not fan either, but we have to stop and start from somewhere. If we must move forward as a nation, if we must progress as a nation, we have to learn to do what is right, not by an individual. We don't consider the individual. Let's consider the system. That if Dr. Richardson shows up, it does not matter she has a DR to her name or she have an MS to her name, that she's treated based on the Constitution, what it says. Okay. And it does not matter if she speaks a language that she does not, that her rights is accorded her, due process is accorded her. So let's move the face of the speaker and think about any of us who go through the process, because we hear you all every day. Oh, when this happen, nothing will happen. When I go to court and the people throw sign and then my case go against me. That's the same thing that we are talking about. That that would be my opinion. So please share and come tune in.
Yes. We want to welcome you to Second Thought Africa. Of course, you know that Cindy and I are always here this time from 6 to 7, 7:30 to speak to you about the discourse that is happening in Liberia, and also we are women. We bring a different set of perspective to the conversation. We talk about women's issues. We talk about children's issues. We talk about the world at large. So I want to just thank you for joining us. We are going to be beginning our conversation with what is happening in Liberia. If you ask me, I think the business of the Liberian people are being stuck. Some people, some lawmakers, I won't say people, some lawmakers have decided to make our country the business of make the business of the Liberian people hostage. Okay,
Mhm.
they have actually cause a deadlock in the system, in the process in which Cindy was talking about. And I agree with her. Okay, we are not in support of whether there's, for the whatever lawmaker, fanatical, but we are in support of the rule of law, of the
Right,
Constitution, okay,
right,
the law of the land. Let it work. Like Yusini said, some of you have said, oh, you don't know the House of Representatives has its own rules, the Senate has its own rules. Yes, whatever rule that we make or anyone makes, okay, it has to be consistent with the Constitution, with the law of
correct,
the land, okay? The states,
correct.
it's just like in the United States, state and federal. The
Yes,
states can make whatever laws that they want to make, but when it comes down to it, they cannot interfere in the territory of the federal government. And if they do,
correct,
the federal government trumps the state law.
correct.
Okay? So, I mean, I tend not to use this analogy, but what I'm saying is, for example, we look up this, Yusini, please interrupt me whenever, too.
Mhm.
okay, we've been going on this issue for weeks now. There were about, they say they had 45,
Mhm.
lawmakers. Uh, there are 73 of them. So, Speaker Fanati Kofor probably had what, roughly maybe 30 or so of them. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that, then let me just interject.
Hmm.
The Constitution is clear on the remover of a speaker. Is
Hmm.
there two-term majority? That's
Hmm.
48.6.
Hmm.
48.6, I know you don't have half a human being. So that would be, we run it up to 49. It
Yes.
didn't say you have majority or simple majority. No. The framer of the Constitution, I think they saw the Wallabaloo in the future. That's why when you write laws, it have to project the future. It have to grow with the population, the changing environment. As people change and time change, and that's why in the Constitution they called the House of the lawmaking, the legislature. Okay,
Hmm.
the house of wisdom. They have to be wise. The decision must be wise, must be far-sighted. Okay. And executive, we should do everything with moderation. They have to come to a balance, not force. Okay. And justice for all, that is their judiciary. So I just wanted to add my voice that yes, you can say the Constitution, the House has its own rule, that is correct. But the rule have to be in sync with the Constitution, because the Constitution is absolute. Go ahead,
Yes.
ma. Sorry.
Yes. So, we woke up one morning and we heard from Liberia, and I'm just going to update you a little bit because I'm sure all of us are in the state of amazement and we want to find out what is going on in our country. That a group of what they claimed that there were 45
Hmm.
lawmakers.
Hmm.
Uh, they decided that they had counts, about three or four counts, that they wanted to remove Speaker Fanati Profile from his speakership role
Right.
on. And they historically, the speakers in the House have resigned. We have a history of Snow resigning, Tyler
Yes.
resigned,
Tyler
and
resigning.
yes.
Yes. Hmm.
So it is expected that, and I hear them saying, we're going to make it difficult. We're going to make it
Yes.
difficult so Fonati Kofa will not resign. I mean, so Fonati Kofa can resign. And he
Right.
is saying that he is not going to resign. He's telling the public that he's not going to resign. And that's his constitutional rights, okay?
It is. It
Because
is.
Snow did, not because Tyler did. That means that Fonati Kofa, Speaker Fonati Kofa will. I'm here as you see it started the show. We are in the name of the Constitution, in the name
Yes.
of the people, following
Yes.
the rule of law. If they have, uh, you know, majority 48 or 49, right? That
Hmm.
says that we have, if they have 49, they can remove the speaker. That's what the
Right.
rule says.
And that even with the 49, they will stay and call him due process.
Correct.
They will stay and call him due process. You see that we saw this. We
Yes.
saw this with the CPP, which I'm not going to go deep into that. Somebody jump on and say the person did this with no evidence,
Mhm.
because there's other people who wanted power so badly at the time. They agreed they were equal. They had nothing to show until other people have to come from their country who were more advanced than us to tell us this is not possible. All right.
Yes.
So that's exactly what we are doing right now. All right. You can have 49. The person must still have due process. It's just like, even if you catch me in anywhere around the world based on our law, if you catch me red-handed
Mhm.
murdering somebody and you're eyewitness, I'm still entitled to due process.
That's
If
right.
I say I didn't do it, maybe you saw what you thought you saw. Maybe it was a mirage. Maybe I'm walking and the person was taking a last breath and I was trying to save them. You do not know that until you go through the process. But I think I went to the extreme. I'm just trying to give you,
Well,
yes. Go
yeah,
ahead,
no,
ma'am.
you rightfully said, so until you present the reason why you petitioned your colleagues, okay, and say this is the reason why we do not want him, and then he has the right to say these counts that you have presented are
Yes.
inaccurate. They are false.
Yes.
Maybe like you Cindy said, he has to be able to explain. And then if you want to vote him out, you vote him out. And maybe in that process, he will convince other people to say, oh, but this what the petition that you're giving us, this is different from what we are, like you Cindy said, it's different from what we are hearing and what we are knowing and what the evidence are presenting. Okay. You
Right.
guys, my recollection, I think there were one major thing I heard that you guys say it's like conflict of interest that exists. I'm not reading from any paper here. There's conflict of interest that exists because uh, he represented so many companies were listed, the banks, Salamita, Western Cluster, and Maritime. He flat out came out and said that is false. That is not true. And I'm waiting for y'all to present your evidence. I'm waiting
Correct.
for 45,
Correct.
45 members to present the evidence. But it's needless to say, okay, I'm not here to protect for
To
that.
protect or defend Fernando Kofa, we want you guys to understand that we are here in the name of the people, which is the Constitution. What does the Constitution say? When does it start? That way we're here because we don't want you to go. The both of all, we didn't support your two group that were going at the last where you're crying from. Because we did not, we just say we were not supporting the person, that means we were supporting this person. You surmise that we were. Okay. Well, most of you who are just coming into the political scene or onto the social media do not understand is for the place that the both of us grew up with, that came earlier than I did. Every ballot has to write in ballot. That means you don't let anybody on the ballot, you can still vote, but your vote will be called a write-in ballot. That's what I was asking for. Even the presidential election that is going on in America, there are 6 political parties. The 7th one is the one that they put the write-in ballot. That's a write-in ballot there. There are people who don't want Trump, there are people who don't want Kamala Harris, there don't want Joe Scott. So, but they still have a place to put their voice, and they can write in who they think should, they can suggest or what they're looking for. It gives people America data where other people who want to form political party will also have the option to come on and say they will have 1 million people who did a write-in ballot. That's how we collect data. But I'm going to stop you at that. Go ahead.
Yeah. And I want to say we do have a lot of questions. I do have a lot of questions. Hi, baby. How are ya? You got frozen. You see us.
Acting up. Yeah, that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we do have questions. One question that I have is, Speaker Kofa was head of the Judiciary Committee. He was there when Justice Jana was removed.
Was removed, yes.
Was there, when the budget has been. He was there. He was deputy speaker, and he was there. The budget is not new to him.
Yes.
He told the public that he noticed that people are in his office affixing his name to a budget that he's not aware of.
Right.
But this is not new to him, So these are questions that it will probably be informative for the Liberian citizenry to know, what happened? What role did you play in Justice Jana removal? Did you speak? Did you say what? Did you write anything to the judiciary? Or what's your understanding? How is it that possible that somebody can affix your name to a budget and you don't have any awareness what's going on with you? So that's one of the questions that I have, in terms of your leadership, in terms of your oversight of the House of Representatives. And then another question that I have is, therefore something lawmaker, because I don't know how many people every day they tell us they got more people or whatever, but it's the anti-Kofa renegades, as some people can call them. Okay, I'm not, I heard that name, and so I'm just using that. You guys, all I'm hearing is I want to remove Fanatic Kofa because of conflict of interest. I want to remove him because of XYZ. Who do you have? What would you do differently than him?
So that to even add to that question, why are you sabotaging the people that send you? That's what I'm saying. That's the part where when you have an informed population, which most Liberians are not, okay? When you have an informed population, they would have taken the street by now and telling them you'll get your butt up there. If not, you need to resign. You need to, because It's been 2 weeks. They have not done the people job, meaning they should forfeit their duty. All of them need to be called out.
If you
They
ask
don't
me,
need to be
I
there.
mean,
They were sent to do a job. So here it is. Let me play this, and I'm sure you heard this.
mm-hmm.
How I surmise that this is not about the Liberian people here, and I'm sure I played here before. When
Mm-hmm.
this man who is calling God's name, okay, he is calling God's name, but he's talking about himself, not the Liberian people. Doc, listen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, we don't want a leadership that when our gas to one time, they don't reach to us. We don't want a leadership for section. They say are receiving 100%, and we are receiving 40%.
Isn't that the famous Pharaoh speech? Pharaoh, let your people go. Is that the famous?
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. So again, in the name of the people, okay, as we come speaking on what we understand of the Constitution, being able to have been traveled, and we both doc, it's a professor, I'm an educator, we're both educator, okay. So to some degree, we understand minimum how things work. And we lived and traveled back and forth in Liberia. We were born in Liberia. And we also understand the system here, how the system where we go. We both are into the system because we're educating the future leader of this country, right?
Mm-hmm.
You cannot tell me that you are moving this man because of impropriety. But you are telling your impropriety that you're talking about, it's about you. You are saying you want gas car. You want when you have section, although you're being paid, okay, in a nation with 5.3 million people, with 3.5 million of them who hire you to make their life better, live below the poverty line on less than $2 a day. Our schools have no supply, okay? Last we were here, we found out 15,000 teachers in Nima County alone are not on salary. It tells you the priority that you put on our children, the future of Liberia. All right. But you're coming here and you're yelling and telling us, Pharaoh, let my people go. By the way, Pharaoh was an African, and Israel, they're the Mediterranean from Southwest Asia. So maybe we need to start plaguing ourselves. All right. So that was not godly. For me, this is not that, this is my perspective from understanding. This is not about doing the Liberian people work. This is about them. Okay. This politics is more lucrative than anybody who can innovate in Liberia. So when does this stop? When do we get to actually follow the rule of law? When does it stop?
Sure. Yeah. So this week would be interesting, and I think all interested Liberians, in fact, I think all Liberians should be paying attention to what's going to happen in our country this week. The of course, Speaker Fanati Kofa took the issue to the Supreme Court. Okay, the final arbiter of the rule of law in our country, and the Supreme Court put a stay order until November 9th. If you ask me, I would have rather them say until Monday morning, October. What is Monday? What date is that? October 28th. Okay.
October 28th. Yes.
Because of the urgency of the whole situation. Okay. Because of the potential of this situation to affect the citizens of Liberia. I would have wanted a speedy and immediate response, immediate intervention. But they said, I believe it was November 9th or the 26th. November 9th or the 6th. That's what the letter said. I don't remember. But so they asked for a stay order until that time, which means I interpreted that stay order to mean you 45 members, you go back to work.
Go to work until then. Yes.
Until we have a conference where we can discuss this matter between the two parties. Okay. But some are saying they're not going to move. They're going to continue to revolt. They're going to continue to not respond, to not obey the Supreme Court order. So can you imagine?
So that those are supposed to be the lawmaker of the land, right?
That's right.
Those are supposed to be the wise people of the country. Those are the ones who are supposed to actually make the law that's supposed to govern the nation.
Mhm,
Okay. And they're telling you
mhm,
the highest court in the system
mhm,
that's supposed to interpret and administer the law, they
mhm.
refuse to listen to them. Okay.
Absolutely.
That is a rebel mentality. All right. I'm saying it. You're saying it, Martin Pay it, and not that me. I mean,
Mhm,
who's saying it? That's a
mhm.
rebel that's unpatriotic.
Yes.
Because again, I know there are a lot of people behind this story I'm hearing. I know Kofa was on spoon and said, "Oh, Thomas Fala does not know." We know Thomas Fala came from selling wool. I the one who talking. I say I want you to know that me selling wool I really like. All of a sudden, he builds a school as a lawmaker. He's a multi-millionaire. His buildings are all over in Luffa County. All right. What's the other one? We know that and I read these, y'all can bring the budget from 2013, 2014, 2015. All right. There were a lot of budgeted amount for schooling in those budget. They put money in there for 2 years and the school all disappeared the next year, 2016, 2017. We didn't see those schools. But
Mhm,
our lawmakers end up erecting buildings, schools in their name. Even some university that was supposed to be built, that the money was put in the budget. Those money, we have not seen the effect in Bone County, in Grand Bassa County. They're all there. You go look at those old budget. So I also heard Nyan Flomo on their interview, their press statement, who said they gave quality budget performance report. If they do, why is it a problem that we are having this war going on when the people are asking for audit of the legislature? Okay, first you're opening the door. Then, like when people know how you're spending their money. All
yeah.
right, let's go back because in that I'm in Georgia. We have I don't know about your state. We have a 40 billion economy. All right, we cannot spend as a we cannot spend what we do not have. They have to make adjustment. If that means cut back, then you cut back. So you cannot pay all the money in the country, over 90%, just to pay people. Then run around, go pay people on behalf of our people to come and spend it.
Mhm,
Okay? They're going to World Bank, African Development Bank to borrow money that my children will have to pay for it. When your children have becoming rich, okay, have become rich, and they can do whatever they want, but the rest of the Liberian people who voted you in, life is static or even have downgraded. So that's what we're talking about. So we're here in the name of the people. That's where we
yeah.
are. Yes.
And to start from what you were saying, yes, the legislators, the lawmaker, the House of Representatives are rejecting, they are rejecting, or they are potentially, this is what they're saying, they have not even rejected that yet. So let me just wait until what unfolds next week. So I will say that they are saying that they are not going to obey the Supreme Court order for them to go back to work, or for them to stop, having a separate meeting, to decide the business of the Liberian people. So, like you
Oh,
said, if they are disrespecting the law that they are the lawmakers. Okay,
mm-hmm,
that's the responsibility. When we look at the three branches of government,
mm-hmm.
there's the legislators, they make the law.
Right.
Okay, the executive branch, execute the law. They make sure that the law is followed. Okay, the judicial branch, they interpret the Constitution. So when the legislature make the law, they want to make sure that the law is consistent with the law of the land, which is the biggest,
Correct.
the land, the
Correct.
Constitution. So
Correct.
and the interpreters want to put the ideas together. They want to put their head together. They want to read. They want to study. They want to, when you're interpreting something, okay, You want to make sure that you see what other people have done in terms of this situation. Although this is all new for our country, but you want to critically think about it. So this is what they say: give us some time. In the meantime, y'all go back to work. And these people are saying, they are telling us that this week they are not going to do that. That's what they are saying. So, in my opinion, they shouldn't be paid because they're not doing the work of the
No, they
librarian.
should not be paid. They should not be paid.
Sure.
And there should be a timeline where when they don't show up to work, they need to be recorded. Then they can't
Yes,
do the job. They
they
need to
should
be
be.
recorded. They're
Yeah, even
sabotaging the
if they're
nation.
elected, they are
Mhm.
breaking the law, even though they are elected. So they are telling us. So when the Supreme Court subpoena anybody in the country, which is asking them to appear in front of the Supreme Court or appear in court, the person can say, "I'm not coming." You
Correct.
know, the person
Correct.
can disrespect the law. The
Correct.
person, so this is the kind of slippery slope that we are dealing with. We are walking.
Insubordination. Yeah. Gross
Yes.
insubordination.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's, and that is a concern of mine that I have here. You know, the second thing, they charged for Nati Kofa, and again, which you said, they said that he outspent his budget. Okay, the budget for the House of Legislature, they said that he outspent his budget. He claims that he doesn't know how his name was affixed to the budget, and there's a process that he's not quite familiar with. Now, that is something that is supposed to be discussed between the two groups. I don't want to stand here before you and say yes, this happened, and no, this happened. Okay, what we do know is, as you said, there's not money going to our schools, to the basic needs of our people, the schools, the hospital, the roads. When we see these people having the BB budgeted, assigned to them, they got scratch card, they got they want a gas card. As we heard the minister preaching about passing, talking about fear, let my people go. It means that they are not, the money, instead of it going to recurring expenditure, recurring payment of people's salaries and needs, let it go to the people of Liberia. And that's all we asking for.
Yeah.
Do the work of the Liberian people. So for me, you will not get paid. They will hold a budget, number one.
Yes. And that the Liberian people need to start gearing up. Like, again, let's bring this home. And everybody need to know that regardless if they have, and you know that you chronicle something which was really powerful. When they put pressure on Snow was a water government. Okay. He resigned.
Yes.
Okay. And number one, I believe Snow was young at that time and he didn't understand what was going on.
That's what he did say that too.
Yeah, he was young, just coming from the war. He didn't. Tyler, I would say he didn't understand. Most of our lawmakers don't even know the rights and responsibility on it. I'm saying the majority of them do not. Even the Senate do not. We're a loud country. You see here, even on committees here, when you see the post-somebody committee, judicial committee, that person, obviously you will find out that person have been a lawyer or a judge or experienced lawyer. If you see somebody on the medical or health, there will be somebody who will be in the medical field, mental health, whatever. It will not just be because they're not capacity of that. Okay. So we put people places where they understand that they can make the greatest production or impact, right? On the other hand, for Nati Kofa, this is not my cup of tea. I keep saying that I want you to do. We are here for the Constitution, for the truth of Liberia. Because I want, if tomorrow somebody grab my sister or my brother, I should speak on the issue, not because they are my brother. Okay. And that's the way I see it. All right. Nati Kofa went to one of the best law schools in America. All right. He went to the Duke of the Word. Okay. He messed up big time in America. I think he did not represent me, but the Liberian people wanted him, so they elected him. Now, the very people who elected this man yesterday, and we were hearing that they gave them $45,000. So in my mind, unless somebody convince me, this is money induced. And then when you listen to some of the lawmaker talking, it all proves that my belief at this point, unless they can convince me otherwise, that is true.
Mhm.
The one, right, Dad? They want their money. Okay, how you want the Liberian people? 90% of the money in the country is already gone to you. But when you have section, they must pay you again. Okay, when you go to retreat, they must pay you.
Mhm.
Our children are dying.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is, like you said, the first time that I'm hearing, for me to do my job, I should get paid. It's
Yes.
like for you to grade paper, you see, for me to grade paper with my
That's what I'm gonna do this.
the principal of our school say, "Oh, pay me for grading the student
The
paper."
paper all coming to what to do, or what do you call it? When you go to the observation to come
Yeah.
and do observation, you got to pay me.
Yes, no, that is, you're right. That is part of the responsibility.
Mhm.
But you know, instead of us Liberians sitting down and being so complacent, and you know, one thing I also observed, that perhaps we don't have recall elections law in our country where the citizen can recall. And I think that there has to be some way. Maybe this is a lesson learned when uh Fanati Kofa begins to work. Perhaps he can amend the law somehow that if they don't perform,
Yes,
they can be recalled.
yes.
Okay, for non-performance, for incompetency, for corruption, they can be recalled. Because right now, I'm not clear on, you know, what I don't think we have that in our country, which is so sad. You know
Yeah,
that we have,
we need to. We need to.
because I heard somebody say we can get signatures, we
Yeah,
can pass.
we can get 10,000 signatures. But
But
the
the
thing
thing
is,
about it,
yeah,
yeah, go ahead. Because but the thing about it, somebody have to put the referendum on the floor.
on the floor. Mhm.
Yes. So
Mhm.
even if we collect signatures, these guys are in such clique and cahoot.
Yeah,
Yes,
against the nation.
yes.
Against the nation.
The citizens and against the nation,
Yes.
are they going to stand up and say, XYZ, your citizen brought this referendum against you to be impeached from the House of Representatives? Are they going to be able to do that and say this is not about you, but it's about you following the rule of law, and your citizens have observed these counts about you? So they're not going to do that, and this is where we are stuck. We are stuck like Chuck. We are stuck.
So Doc,
Mm-hmm.
if they do not,
Mm-hmm.
then we mark them and we mobilize and we vote them out.
Yes, but the thing about it, the damage should be done in six years.
And that is true.
Yeah, you
That
know,
is so true.
because if this government hostage, and uh, you know, let's assume, let's look at different possibilities here. Fanati Kofa said, "I'm not resigning," in which is his constitutional rights, and the 41 lawmaker, or for 30 something lawmaker, or whatever numbers they have right now,
Mhm.
for the anti-Kofa lawmakers, and they say, well, we're not bulging either. So for 6 years, our country being this rigmarole. No, we can't change, we can't hold. And the
Well,
budget
we can.
here.
We can, Doc.
You tell me, yes.
Okay, we can.
Mhm.
Because the executive role is to enforce the law. Although the lawmakers make the law
Mhm.
and have oversight, that's
Mhm.
why they do this. That way, Liberia got the check and balance system, right?
Mhm.
So the check where their role ends, all right? Somebody role became there. The lawmaker have no implementation right or limited implementation right. Okay.
Correct.
Number one,
Mhm.
if they fail to do whatever the Constitution says, it is the executive responsibility or prerogative, okay, to implement the law or enforce the law. If the judiciary come and say these are what needs to happen, if they do not do what they need to do, all right, the judiciary, what do you call it, interpret and what apply the law, okay, the executive enforces it, all right. That's why they need to go. So the executive will have to get involved if they're not doing their job, all right. You can't just say they're not going to do anything. They can't. What the justice system is about. All right, they will enforce that. Mhm.
But let's and you know, let's of course looking at all the different possibilities here. So
Mhm.
what if, you know, and I want Liberian people to be thinking as we're talking here, okay?
Mhm. Thank you. Yeah, that's critical. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So like next week, you see the budget is due. The lawmakers are supposed to be working. They are supposed to be up next week when the executives submit the budget. Now we're gonna see who is he going to
What budget again? They submitting.
the budget for 2025. That's the next year's budget. That is what is due next week.
Like we have no budget. They budget. Then they come back. Then they do what they call what I want them do budget.
Culture.
Then they're uttering and fingering going on. Just 500 million. We here with $40 billion. And the people, and another thing that also needs to happen is that the people need to have input in the budget. In the world over in democracy, the people that the one you're working for, we're supposed to have input.
But you're right. But this is the point now. This point I'm trying to make, you Cindy. So let's assume the budget is going to be submitted next week. The budget for 2025 is supposed to be submitted 2025, 2026, or whatever have you. Okay. First of all, you are saying the executive needs to be involved. So the president then will have to decide who is he supposed to submit the budget to. For Speaker Kofa, legally, who is the Speaker of the House? Okay. Or yes, that's the only.
Well, that's when we will know who follows the law, because they talk about wisdom. That the house that the people who are supposed to exercise wisdom, right?
Yeah.
So we will find out.
But
the thing is that at this point, if there are any word, the people will be in the street and either telling the people to step down or to step in.
yes,
That's it.
Block there.
It is the Liberian people job. In fact, I don't miss some calls tonight. Yes.
Block their entrance to work. Since they don't
Yes.
want to go there. In fact, they're not even going there. Said
Yes.
the 30
And they do not need to get paid. For the time they're off, they don't need to get paid. Nobody needs to pay them.
Yeah.
Now, when the executive need to put that, they don't need to pay them.
And you know what I'm thinking about? Who's paying for the RLJ?
Yeah, who paying for that? That alone, that's also corruption, because the house where you're supposed to do that, we are seeing lawmakers here in this country drag law, okay? But they do it at the Capitol. They stay in their building. That's what they do. Even when they can't come to an agreement, they do it in their building. They don't get it to go to a hotel.
Yes.
No, that would be yes. You can't obligate the people that in our whole Liberian government is not paying for that.
So who's paying? Well, if the Liberian government is not paying, and we need to know who's paying for it, because that'll be paid for. You are paying.
The country needs to know who's paying for it. I agree.
Yeah. So, but be it as it may, so the work of the Liberian people has to occur. This budget has to be submitted. So the president will have to decide if he submits it to Fonati Kofa and his 30-member group, you know, then they are the ones who are working. They are the ones who are functioning in the country. Those
but here's the thing.
43 persons.
Fonati Kofa is the Speaker of the House.
Yes.
As it stands,
yes,
they still do not have the 48%.
Yes.
That means all things are constant. And even if they have the 48.6%, there's still due process that they have not met. So they themselves are undercutting the law. So whatever budget is written, that budget must go to the Speaker. You
That's
see,
right. But then
you have to think, remove the need for Fonati Kofa.
Yes.
But all of you who think plus you are, this is not for Fonati Kofa.
That's
the
true.
law being the law. The budget should be presented to the Speaker. Remove the need.
That is very true. But then we have these 40-something persons that are not working. They are not coming to work. So here it is. We have the 30 people who are diligently reviewing the budget, who, you know, will be under the sound and voice of the Speaker, learning the budget, figuring out and discussing what is good for the Liberian people.
The thing is that they can't, because they will not have quorum. They cannot discuss the budget because they do not have quorum. So they sabotage the nation. All right.
They're
sabotaging the nation. So that's why they need to be recalled, and that's why they need to be cited because you know why? The judiciary can cite them because they will understand because that's their role.
They're
That
saying
is
if
their
what
role.
if, yes, I agree. And so this is why I think this coming week is so important. We're gonna see what they're gonna do. Are they gonna listen to the judiciary? Are they gonna go to work, and work under the
But what
sound
kind
and
of
voice
rebel
and
mentality
gavel?
is that though?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. This is how serious. This is very serious in our country, Cindy. This is no joke. No joke at all. And so yes, we need to float them out, but at the risk of 6 years of whatever
So,
years
so
they have.
not we're not avoiding them. They need to call the people need to get in the street. You see, Liberian people have to understand. And this is where the government after government, I don't care where who say. The other day I listened to people and somebody say, and I'm gonna veer off a little bit that me, I like to pick for
No,
sometimes.
no, no, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. I like to say this. Somebody were on a show the other day and said, Tarbert was the most far-sighted president we're both going to be. And I said to them, I said, that's not true. Tarbert was vice president from 1952 to 1971. That's a long time, 19 years. That the nonsense that they were talking about, Papa Bouaka, some of us tried to tell them. 19 years as a vice president.
Mhm,
I mean, consecutively, all right? He
mhm,
came to power 9 years. He had just started implementing after he had empowered he and all his family, all right? The road that was there, that the same road stay there today, all right?
yes,
The little halfway house that the people built from Yekepa to Ikenfo, they didn't even have road.
mhm.
That's all the places we passed. You saw that I read there, but you and I have
I
been there, okay?
know. I
Thank
know,
you.
Cindy.
From Morovia to all the way in Nimakante, there were no road,
Mhm,
okay? No road. They didn't build no road. But Todman, who was also president in Maryland, carried in Maryland his own country where he paid the road. The rest of the country had no road, Morovia and Liberia. So when people come back and say, if you as a leader, your impact is not felt, you need 20 years, all right? Although the people who keep and kill him are do not condone it, they would have put him in jail, they would have prosecuted him, they didn't have to kill him, they didn't have to kill the 13 people because they themselves are worse. That's the point I'm making right now, okay? The little boy and I'm calling a little boy because he's young, he's in his 20s, Toure in Burkina Faso. I mean, that white chicken, I don't want to press white chicken too much before it starts jumping in water. But see the impact the young man in less than 3 years. Let's go to a government that was elected. John Makafuli, 5 years, he changed the whole look of his nation. Education became a center in front of everything. Okay, saving money for the nation, reducing salary. What's the thing? All right. The woman he left in charge took over and doing just that or more. So, the point here is why are they there? Liberia have never had a leader. Papa Bouaka sat on the platform in Nigeria on Arise Africa talking Tabata. What did he say? Uh, um, there are no leader in the country. The country on okay, great. The country on autopilot. The country need leadership. All the drama going on. He fly from from Southwest Asia and then to Eastern Asia, then to Africa,
So
then
it's
back to Europe, and go looking. Maybe your Liberian, your diplomats don't understand. America rebuilt Italy after the Second World War. America helped rebuild England, build Japan, build South Korea. So America not dealing with you, those are their cliques. Okay? All of those people are family. Okay? That's it. So me, I want them bring the thing, all the evidence that they have. I want them open the door, let the people do the audit of the legislature so we
yes,
can know what is what. So
yes,
don't come bring blockade. That is just like when those who are in like when you have these who are in like a relationship with narcissists, right? When you are in relationship with narcissists, yeah, all of us have encountered one or two if you live long enough, and if there's at some point you dated, you will find out when they wrong you, even if you have, they will put up their arm so you don't have to say nothing. These folks are narcissistic behavior where they're on, okay? They don't care about the people. They're
No.
trying to divert their attention from the issue at hand. We want audit.
Yes.
The Liberian people need audit, but the Liberian people need to understand the power that they hold.
Mhm.
Liberian people, your power is absolute. The Constitution says
voice.
we the people.
Mhm.
All right. And if you're unhappy with them, you have the right to stand up. After sending the rest of the world will tell them to come down. We will tell them to come down. Some of us will be in Washington. Some people will be everywhere. They will come down when we do the election. That's how I see it. That, go
Yes.
ahead.
No, I mean, and your point is well taken, Cindy. All right. We have to start from somewhere. This is why we are focusing on the rule of law and the Constitution. All right. Because if we start to say, you know, you didn't act, you were vice president for what X amount of years, Tolbert. We never heard any magnificent rejection of whatever else that Tubman was doing.
Yes.
We asked the same question of President Buckeye.
Yeah.
You were vice president for 12 years. We didn't hear anything. You presided over the Senate. You know,
Yeah.
what did you say, do behind the lobby when, you know, brown envelope and bribery was happening? And this is how our country have been running.
Yes.
So this is what we're saying. If we allow these guys who are holding our country hostage to succeed, okay, as opposed to following the rule of law, as opposed to saying, I don't care if you have 49, remove him. All right. But when you remove him,
Yes.
I expect you to continue to do better. Okay. The counts that you are petitioning him to be removed for, all right. Like, for example, you said that he outspent his budget. You should not be outspending your budget. You should come and tell us your plan not to outspend your budget. Okay. You should come to tell us that you are not going to practice the conflict of interest that you're accusing him of having conflict of interest of. Okay. All right. You should come to tell us that your hands are not dirty, it's clean. But I'm saying, because we have a country where we're not in this type of age. We are in the age where everything, we see everything, we know everything that's going on in Liberia. People are texting me. So this is the age where you can't say, I'm just going to sit down and allow things to happen and like Liberia to run automatically or to be corrupt. No, we'll not allow that. So this is why we want the rule of law to happen, and that's what we're pushing for. And you see, they made a great point. She said, let's take the name of whoever the speaker is. Okay. Like I said, if the law says, your own rule says you need to have 48, 49, get him out. All right. If you don't have it, go back to work and do the Liberian people job.
Yeah.
Don't just hold our business hostage. That's development that needs to occur. President Buckeye have told us that he won't build roads. He won't, build schools. He won't healthcare. We want to see that happening.
Yeah, agriculture with a team, but
yes,
we got 8 million for 5 million people, but he budget alone more than the agriculture to feed the whole country. I mean, who's saying it? Papa, now you don't me, I will say it.
Yes. So yes.
I must say his son today, you tell you about us that then you fact here say I'm on this own nature. I told him, I said no reproach. You can reproach. Yes.
I saw that joke.
Yeah, no reproach. Yes.
Yeah, so but we'll see. This week would be an interesting week in the country. So I want to call on all Liberians to continue to just watch and let's see what happens. But let me I know we don't have that much time to speak to you, but another thing that was on my mind, I wanted to know what you thought about this and what our listening audience, what did you think about this? This whole business of having a PhD program.
Oh, that is so
must be educators. What are your thoughts?
So I understand that UMass, okay. I understand that UMass offer $5 million. Okay. This is not based on Liberian thinking. We have the resources. Okay, this is the strategic plan. This is the short term. This is the long term. The first thing that you do not have a good master's program. Even at the what do you call it? The what the place? What is school name?
LU?
What the other university going to?
Cottington?
Cottington.
Mhm,
The head of the department has a master's degree for the graduate program. I don't
mhm,
know anywhere else here which are going to graduate school. All of my professors have PhD.
mhm,
Even just me doing the MAT, which because I already, how you call it,
mhm,
everybody got GR to the knee. And each course they're teaching, they're specialized in that course.
mhm.
Okay. If you look, I know that how much is your department budget? Your department budget to run that budget alone. All right.
It's a lot.
And I'm looking at, so let me say this. The school, we have 40 billion in Georgia, 37% of that billion goes to the school for education. All right. You have LU that look like a a forgotten what do you call it? What do you call a forgotten old what a name? That's the name of it. Old kingdom that I've been trying to call the name, but it was coming
Castle?
from
A forgotten castle?
the forgotten castle that just maybe were plague. All right. And fortress, that's what it's called. Forgotten fortress. All
Mhm.
right. You don't have enough money in the budget. Your education level is low. You do not have how many Liberians have written. What is your database system that we can do research from? Okay, how many researchers do you have in Liberia in your university system? You don't even have electricity. That they see nonsense. They started the other day. They say they were doing online. We that remember we went home, went to Lone Star, bought $100 minute. They
Rather,
told us it was for the whole month, unlimited. In 3 days, we had no data.
no, rather.
Yeah, we were so mad. We go back to the place. They said, "Oh man, when we say unlimited, how you can use it? Oh, the
Yeah.
way you use it, we say."
Mhm.
So you tell me, but you see that it comes to this. There is no reason for them to be considerate. There's no incentive for them to put money into the school system because their children are not in the country. They're
Mhm.
either if they're in the country, they're going to international school. They
Mhm.
can test for the TOEFL. They can
Mhm.
test for the ACT. They can test for the PSAT and the SAT. My
Yes.
book is that my book? It finally came. Yay! I was
Mhm.
worried. Yeah,
Yes.
I've
It's
been,
nice.
I've been, I've been doing that. I have to go online and get a stuff in
What is it?
action research for Teachers Kennedy.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I,
You
I
got it.
gotta read. I don't know. I doubt you can do it. 5 books in few months. Somebody come
Yeah.
and speak to you. Come, she's there. She's there.
I got it.
Hi, baby girl. How are ya? I
I
can't
like
wait
to,
to see you.
I like to see you
So
too.
you said it already. You
But
said it.
that the only reason you're coming, you were going to tell me we got plane. You didn't let us know.
Yes, I can't wait to see them.
Yeah, yeah. I know I will see Grandpa because I'm the only person who
Oh
missed me
yes,
over
Grandpa,
here.
we're home right now. He's
Yeah,
he was not home
yeah.
this weekend. So, but yes, in my reaction, you Cindy, is very similar to yours. First of all, I think I saw pictures floating on social media about how conducive the environment. I mean, there's mold on the building. It's all over. It's like water leaking.
Yep.
You weren't with me, but I think I was with
Man,
Abraham.
inside the building, is leaking. Look at the chairs.
Yes,
Look at the thing.
yeah,
Look,
exactly. So
look.
learning is just not about sitting down in the classroom.
No, it's not.
How
No,
do we
it's not.
expect
Look at
our
your the chair. No, it's not.
to go to that place? All right. What kind of health hazard are they experiencing by inhaling?
All
People.
the mold. Yes. That's why
Yes,
people can
no.
just fall down and die like bread. They say that
Yes,
witchcraft. They're not witchcraft. That your environment. That's
yes,
the environment. The mold is a silent killer. All the place is mold up. It's
so
mold up. You're getting headache. The mold.
yes. And how do you learn in such an environment? And it's not okay. We have to, when you teach, you speak, you teach for excellence.
Yeah.
Okay. You teach for competency.
Yeah.
How do I tell my children that I expect excellence of you and I'm presenting them in such an environment? And there's no need for that because There's money. You got budget. There's money for that. Where so is it more of a priority to keep on having recurrent expenditure on salaries than to paint? How long would it take to paint or whitewash those buildings?
Yep.
So the environment has to be conducive. I know I heard that you seen it, like you said, UMass would give money,
5
Vanderbilt
million.
her would give money.
So, but
But
how long do they know how much is 5 million when it comes to the education environment? They need to have their own libraries. They need to have system that it works. Power system that work. Because how do you access other people resources? You don't have your own resources.
Cindy, you and I in education here, all right? These schools, UMass, Vanderbilt, Georgia State, even my
Yep.
school that I teach at, there
Yep.
would be no way they would be accredited
Yep.
if they presented LU as it is.
Yep.
Okay, so why is it that they will want to contribute to our country and our instead of
Where would they get the faculties from? Okay.
question?
Okay.
Well,
You
somebody
need
said, oh, they will do online program.
they need research infrastructure. Do they have it? No.
Yes.
No.
And somebody said, oh, they will do online program. For you to do online program, you gotta have electricity. You gotta have internet. Do we have it?
But the thing is, though, I'm sorry, let me calm down.
Mhm.
Joseph Boakai need to stop. Because Joseph Boakai lied on his credential before, like he had master's degree, and he did not. And he came back and they erased it. Out of the people that were with him lie. You cannot lie to our people because what they are doing is lying to our people. We are not in the position. We do not have the human capital, nor do we have the infrastructure. Okay, we do not have the brain power. Yes, you may have the brain power outside of the country, but how many of those people can you afford to pay? Okay, can you afford to pay people $70, $80, $100,000 to come and do the knowledge transfer, to leave the conducive environment that they are in to come and do that? Are you willing to put 6, 7 years like the people from Saudi Arabia did? So are you willing to do the same thing that the people of South Korea did or like Japan did? Are you willing to do that, to bring in experts, to train the first layer of researcher? Then after it, at 4 or 5 years, you say we're going to invest a few million, 4 or 5 years to create more. But those people, they do not only bring the knowledge, they also bring the ethical standard. Okay. If I were in Dr. Richardson class, she cannot be, in fact, they were not even because we're friends, they would not even allow me to be in her class to begin with. Okay. And if I'm in her class, she have to grade me as she grades everybody else. No go come. Okay.
Absolutely. And so you see it. So why is it that even if Vanderbilt, all these major universities in this country said, okay, we want to establish a research hub, who's watching these people? Why
Exactly.
is it okay for us to take and they can come and do whatever research in our country and we don't have the capability? We're just going to be supremely laying down and say, your
What they're researching on. You see that the same thing they did with remember, we have never had Ebola in West Africa. We had Ebola in East Africa. All of a sudden, we were here, all right? CDC get a disease disappear. The whole nation is plagued because we have given a piece of our land between Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Guinea to do research. You don't have biochemists, you don't have bioengineers, you don't have any of those in your country, but you allow them to come in your place between your people for few amount of millions to put your people's life in jeopardy. That's a research center there. So that it seems nonsense they're trying to bring because they think they will be safe and our children will not be saved because when they die, that just one less mouth that they have will be talking.
Just because of money. Just because of money. Just because somebody wants to enrich themselves. Let me just lastly tell you this, and and I'm done with this whole, starting a new program. It's not a bad idea as educators. We're here, However, are we ready? No, we're not. We are not prepared. All right. No, but you see when when I last went without you, me and about maybe 3 or 4 of my colleagues who actually doing a research in Liberia on women empowerment. you do a research in the United States and in Liberia, we have to go through something what they call, like you said, the Research and Ethic Review Board.
Mhm.
And the sole purpose of that board is to make sure that we are treating the participants ethically. Okay. I cannot force anybody to participate in the research. Okay. I cannot coerce them with money if they didn't consent. Okay. I cannot do anything because here, for example, what's the case at the White House where they gave those people STDs and they were participating in the research and they didn't even know that they were involved. The black men, gosh,
Right.
what's yes,
Right.
you know what I'm talking about. Okay,
Right. Mhm.
yeah, viewers probably know what I'm talking about as well. I can, but anyway, because of those things, okay, they just happen to, use these men against their will and give them STDs, and they didn't
Yep.
tell them the results of that. So those things. So that's what one reason why the Ethical Research Board is set up. So I go to Liberia. First of all, we did our research and ethical review board here, corrected and everything. Sent it to Liberia to get it approved. Um, don't hear anything. So when I went to JFK. Do you know that NIH has an entire lab in our country that our people don't know about, where they are withdrawing our blood to test Ebola every day, Ebola and COVID?
Are you serious?
Where the data, I don't know where the data is sent. I didn't go too much into it, but I was like, I wonder how many people. Yes, Tuskegee Airmen. Thank you, Tawanda T, for that
Oh,
contribution.
the soldiers. Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
the
But
Tuskegee.
they have one in California where would they were literally castrating the women, making it sterile. Yeah.
That's right. I heard of that too. So, because of those reasons, you cannot do research in an unethical way in this country. And if you're a school in this country, you don't want to do it in any other country. But so I started to think when I heard about this lab, and I'm like, who's monitoring? What
Yeah.
agency do we have? Who know what they're taking away, what they're bringing in? I'm not saying anything
Yeah.
about you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
NIH or whatever, but I do know I have colleagues who are not of my descent that are in Liberia frequently studying, and then finally we have, remember that Baboon Island that we have in the country, that nobody wants to go near, and they just multiplying some poor guy who's there and go and feed them. And somehow they said it was a research lab type. It originated out of having a research there, and then somehow they all left or whatever during the
Mhm.
wartime situation. Who's
Mhm.
monitoring all of those? So if we should have a PhD program in our country, who's going to monitor that whoever we collecting money for to run these programs to have a research hub?
And
What is
and and and, and who gets to monitor the integrity to
yes.
all of that? You talked about the ethics board, the integrity, and the guideline. Do we? My thing is this: do we have the resources? That's what I'm saying. Do we have the manpower? Do we have the professor? We don't. We
We
just
should
don't.
be
The thing, Doc, listen to this guy again.
complacent.
Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore. He said when they decided they would change their country, the world over was sending everything to them. Everybody had something to give to them that they thought would make them better. But initially, they sat and they strategized
Of
where they
course.
did not want.
Yes.
So when those options were presented, no matter how beautiful, no matter what a compliment coming to them, off the back, they told them that was not where they were headed. Okay. When you hear Singapore from third world to first world amongst third world country, it was not an easy fleet.
It's
They'll
not.
just identify what they want to do. I would have thought,
They start misbehaving again.
yes. So that I would have thought at this point, were the people telling us they were the most experienced, who understood the nature of the problem in the country, who could understand our different tribes, okay, who have traveled the length and breadth of Liberia and know our culture that the rest of all who left during the war or before then do not understand. We thought they would have these plans to come in and say, this is our plan. So it seems like everything we were told, I am talking, it was a lie. It was to come to power, to amass wealth, to settle their children, their children's children, while the
Mhm.
Liberian children continue to suffer. We
Mhm.
do not have the program. First, initiate a good master's program,
Mhm.
okay, with people who have, even if you say that you yourself put in $10 million, what are we researching? What's available to us? What we need to be getting master's degree in should be maybe mines engineering, okay, biodiversity, all right, women health, okay,
Mhm.
all of these things. That's what we need to, because this is where available to us. Thing like zoology, all right. That's what we need to be studying, because we have mountains, we got rocks, we got different type of rocks. You call it diamond, gold, whatever. They're all rocks and metal. All
Mhm.
right. Israel make most of her money. They don't have raw material. They take the raw material from Africa and South Africa and other places. All right. And they specialize in manufacturing those things, like the gold, like the diamond. All
Mhm.
right. And Israel has a GDP as compared to America. And they
Mhm.
say by 2025, they will surpass America in a GDP per capita. Okay. We have those, but we refuse to invest the time in our human capacity. We refuse to invest the time in our infrastructure. And because we have done so, we continue to lag behind. And you can wear your Ralph Lauren suit and walk in France, you are Liberian, and your whole nation is broke. You can
Oh.
sit down with the Pope. The Pope know you are laughing stock because your people are hungry and begging the rest of the world. Okay, and your country is known for raping women, demeaning women, and not giving most of them an opportunity to have a voice. So it's known that I thought Waka was going to come and have a plan, but he does not. We're not in a position that, or I know you're trying to be modest and all of that, and you are a professor. Okay, we're not in the field. We don't have the professional that we can hire. We don't have a rigorous admission system. We can't even pass 80% of our, in fact, 60% of our children can't even pass YS, which is just in West Africa. That is a problem. Okay.
The problem.
And then the interdisciplinary, yes, we don't have these things. Who audits the program? Who will be the auditor? The people where you can pay. Look at LU. The last time we had Jefferson Koji, we have plenty of them. Then this year we had where you need Doe Cooper.
Well,
Then that's
Cooper. And surprise that you so right, you Cindy. A case in point. And Doug Cooper continues to work with the government. And this man was able to purchase his degree. I don't even know. Yes, this happens here, but the many investigations find out that you have been a fraudulent or you acquired a degree fraudulently, you'll be kicked out.
mine will be kicked out. You will be disrobed. And
Yes.
two, your name will be, no university will want to take you again for school.
No, yes, because I mean, it's so I don't know how he still is in government, and this is a clear indication that
That
we
we
cannot
enjoying too much. Our time is over, guys.
yes,
The way
actually,
my professor me, I'm a student and a teacher at the same time. I gotta go do my work.
yes, I gotta go read too. So we want to just tell you guys, thank you for joining us. It was a wonderful conversation.
Now
There's
you little, we come and leave you by yourself.
Yeah, there's so many things to talk about. Yeah, so many things to talk about. And we really, really appreciate all of you guys coming in and sharing this moment with us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Cindy and I are here every Sunday. Tune in at
Uh-huh.
6 o'clock. We try to come here and discuss politics from our lens.
From our lens, as
Yes,
women,
yes, as
professional women, as
professional,
mothers, as
yes,
wives,
mhm,
as advocates,
yes.
okay, and
So
women who love their country.
absolutely. So I want to encourage you who are watching to please pay attention to what's going to happen in our country this week
Yes.
regarding the lawmakers. And then obviously, if you didn't register to vote yet, I don't know what the law says in your state. I mean, but and if you're eligible to vote, I'm saying this. This is a consequential election, especially for us who are immigrants in this country. Please make sure that you go out, okay? Please make sure that you go out and vote. Your vote is your voice. It's the only power that you have as a person. So I'm saying that I would appreciate it if you guys just practice using your voice in this country, because it's very, it's a do or die election, in my opinion. Even though my husband said, he said, don't say do or die.
Yes, it is. It
I'm sure.
is. Thank you, Dad, for adding your voice. I think we need to do talking on live. I equally I hear Liberians, my mama talking to me today and saying, oh, Kamala is a witchcraft. Kamala put black people in jail. That is not a true statement. That is a lie. Okay. Kamala must follow the law. I know in Liberia you don't like to follow laws. Okay, must follow the law. Which will not just grab you. In fact, you need to go do your research, because you have a responsibility to know the truth before you make a decision that will impact all of us. So it's important.
Yes,
Yeah.
especially if you're a woman, and of course, men too, because one of the things on the ballot is our reproductive rights.
Yep.
Okay. And it affects men are intertwined with women. You are entangled. And I'm going to be quiet because I know my sister got to go. I can see her facial expression. so we'll talk to you guys later.
No, finish your thought. Dad. Wait, finish your thought. Finish your thought.
I don't want to hold you.
No, that's okay. Finish your thought. 2 minutes will not make a difference. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
I was just going to say, men are intertwined with women. Whatever affects us, it will affect my husband, my brother, my cousins.
Yes. Your daughters. Yeah, our daughters. Yes.
Walls and all of that stuff. So yes, so we're intertwined. So don't say, oh, she's a woman, she's not going to rule, or it's not going to affect my reproductive right because it's only a woman's issue. No, it's not. It's all of our business. So I encourage you to go out and vote, and your vote is your voice.
And that is also impact our safety. I remember before the emergence of Donald Trump, we could put pictures of the people that we were voting for in front of our yard. We will put the picture on our bumper. Now, today, we don't drive bumper because you don't know who's going to be hitting you in the street. You don't know if the problem will take you out. Okay. You don't know that. So because of that, everybody, I remember when Obama was running, people have their even during Clinton or George Bush, all of us, you never can have Bush sign, you can have this person sign, and it was fine. Today we do not.
Yes.
Now our boys are in the street. These people, these racists will come to them, and all over. You also saw during Trump reign the amount of protests that were in America, the amount of killing that's going on. So now you're telling us a white criminal is better than a black educated, prosecuted, well-mannered woman. Is that what you want to say? You look yourself in the mirror. That's how I see it. But for me and my house, we know who we will vote for. Good night, Dad.
Good night. Good night, everyone. Join us again next Sunday.
Yes, next Sunday, guys. Thank you. Let me see where we are. Ooh. She gone. She not leave me and go run off.